Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hope you guys are having an awesome Tuesday evening on this Tech Talk Tuesday. Get it? I've been waiting all week just to say that. Today on Tech Talks with Corbin, I am going to be talking about computer parts, and it's probably like one of my favorite topics to talk about when it comes to computers. So I started basically getting into the IT field by building computers, and I got really interested in building computers probably in like high school, like freshman year of high school. When I was a junior in high school, I went out to this Votech college, and we actually got to learn how to build computers from scratch with like just the bare components of building a computer. Hey, what's up, Julian? So basically, I'm going to go over the different parts of a computer that are core components of the computer. It's kind of techie or geeky, but I'm going to try to be as general as possible and just layman's terms, basically, of like which each one does. So we're going to start with the kind of like the circulatory system of your body. There's a circulatory system in a computer called a motherboard. So what the motherboard does is it basically connects all of the other parts of the computer together so that they can talk to each other. Usually those are pretty big parts. It's probably about this size, probably like 12 inches usually. And on the motherboard are different slots that you can put other parts of the computer in. So the next part I'm going to talk about is the CPU, which is the computer processing unit. CPU is just shortened because it's easier to say. The CPU is going to be the brain of the entire computer. It's going to do all the calculations, the translations from zeros and ones to languages that we can understand. They also do a lot of the managing of other system parts, like the other parts that I'm going to be talking about. Sorry. Didn't really structure this as well as I thought I did. But I'm going to be moving on to the RAM, which is Random Access Memory. Hey, what's up, Keel? How's it going? So the RAM basically is a short-term area that stores data from the hard drive so that it's accessed quicker and is more quickly available for the CPU to access it. Usually the CPU takes stuff from the hard drive, which is the next part I'm going to be talking about, but it takes information from the hard drive. It takes it longer to pull it from there than it does RAM. So what it does is it's like a flash drive, kind of. It stores data that it's readily available for the system to use. And then once it's just done using it, it clears it, and then there's more space for the RAM. So one thing with RAM, actually there's a lot of things with RAM, but I'm just going to tell you one thing. The more RAM that you have, the quicker your computer is going to be running. So if you have, usually 4 gigs is kind of like standard with most computers, but as a tech person, I can tell you, you can never have enough RAM. Like, I started building computers with probably 4 gigs of RAM, and I was like, or 4 gigs of RAM. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. And now, like, today, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I just don't have enough RAM to make my computer go as fast as I want. So I typically say like 8 gigs, like 2 4 gig sticks, is plenty for pretty much any usual user. So the RAM are like little sticks about yay wide or yay long, and it's pretty thin. It's probably like maybe half an inch, depending on what type of RAM you get. But those get put into slots that are on the motherboard as well. Same for the CPU. The CPU is literally like a square, and it's usually silver, and on the top it's silver. When you look on the bottom, there's like really tiny pins that you never want to touch. If you touch those, you are very likely to screw up the processor, and the processor is like one of the most expensive things on the computer. So usually there's like 240 or 244 pins on this little tiny square. So it has this very special spot on the motherboard that you put it in, and depending on your motherboard, there's different sizes of CPUs that you can use as well. So the next thing is going to be the hard drive, which hopefully everybody knows what that is. If not, the hard drive is where everything gets stored. Like your programs, your fonts, your music, your pictures, your operating system, anything and everything that we see on the monitors is stored on the hard drive. So it's pretty self-explanatory. You can have multiple hard drives, and there's different types of hard drives. There's a hard drive called a solid-state hard drive, which are usually in laptops. Solid-state drives don't have any moving parts in them, which makes it very, very reliable of not breaking, like, ever. But there is a slight risk that if anything comes into contact with it, say like a magnet or something, because it's all magnets that move inside of it, I won't go into it, but it's very hard to lose data on a solid-state drive. Whereas a hard drive can fail, and parts inside of the hard drive can fail, and then you lose everything, which really sucks. So the next part, what is it? So you have, this is where most of my money goes into, is the graphics card. The graphics card for most users are dually integrated with the CPU, and it's considered a GPU, a graphics processing unit. So the graphics card is like my favorite part because it's always changing, and it's the thing that gives us such vivid pictures, vivid movies. It just makes everything so much better. But the thing is, with graphics cards, they can be very, very expensive, and probably where most of my money goes into building computers is buying graphics cards. For like gaming purposes, buying a graphics card, usually like a good graphics card is probably from 400 to anything, basically. But you can get a really good one for probably 400 to 600. I know of people that have like purchased like a $1,200 graphics card that is phenomenal, but I don't think I could make myself pay that much for a graphics card. Not yet, anyway. But so the next part of the computer is going to be the power supply, which nothing works without power. Power supplies are the blocks, probably like 4 to 5 inches long and like 3 to 4 inches tall. Usually they are set at like the back of the computer so that you can plug the power into it. That thing gives everything power. Everything, the motherboard, the graphics processing unit, the video card, literally everything. The hard drive, the CD drive, all of those things. Those typically like never go bad. In the 10-15 years that I've had a computer, I've never had a power supply go bad. So if you got any value from any of this, or if you have any questions, put them in the comments, or you can send me a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Also, if you guys want to share this video, please share the video as well. If you know anybody that needs to know more about tech, tag them in this video or tell them to reach out to me. I'm always here to help you guys with all of your tech needs. Also, I don't know if you guys know this, I do a online business that I help people live cleaner and healthier lifestyles through products and life choices. So if you guys are interested in that as well, please reach out to me, or I can give you some information on what I do, or if you guys want to know how I do things, you guys can reach out to me as well. So I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow, and I will see you then. Thanks, guys.